Okay, so driving my 2013 Ford Focus ST, and we have Yokohamas, and I'm just giving a test to see what these are like in the snow. As you can see, there's snow on the ground. Not too much on these busier roads, but in the neighborhood roads, they're pretty bad. So I have traction control off. Should probably warm my car up before I really do any fast accelerations or anything like that, but really just want to test this out, see what it's like, see if the winter or the snow tires are really worth it. I'll give a link to what I paid for these. I bought them at Tire Rack and had them mounted by a person that I know. So it didn't really cost too much to mount them, but it cost more to buy the wheels, or the tires. So yeah, let's just see how traction is. If I was in my summer tires like I've driven before, it would be god awful. Like I wouldn't be able to move. But it seems like traction is pretty good here. Like I wouldn't have been able to do that with like all seasons or summer tires by any means. So as you can see, there's a pretty decent amount of snow here. But yeah, I'm gonna see, like, lost control right here in a bigger pile. So I mean, it's definitely not, you know, the most amazing thing ever, but it's definitely miles better when you talk about being able to accelerate faster. But I think it's something that also, it would feel similar like to an all-wheel drive car for traction wise, like getting it started accelerating wise. So let's see from a stop here, like pretty easy to get going. But I feel like for even all-season, all-wheel drive car with all-season tires on it, I still feel like this gets up and goes a little bit quicker. There's not a lot of wheel slippage when I first start out, which is really nice. But yeah, I mean, in the snow so far so good. In the dry, not so great. These tires are really made for, like, you know, lower degree days. Basically, I'm thinking like 45 and under kind of thing. But still can do a handbrake turn. But yeah, I feel like these are pretty good. I would definitely recommend these. And they were the cheapest ones that I could buy for my wheels that I have for the Focus ST, and that's one of the reasons why I chose it too. So just keep that in mind. Obviously these aren't the greatest tires you can get, but these were rated pretty well on Tire Rack, and I didn't really read too many bad things. I read some bad things about cars with rear-wheel drive, which might make sense because rear-wheel drive, it's just more difficult to control in the snow. So obviously this is a front-wheel drive car, so it's not really, you know, you just start to get understeer, and that's when you know you got some problems. But key is to really keep it slow, concentrate, start recognizing what's in front of you, and realize what your limits are with the conditions that you have. That's really what you need to look at. It's really not really what kind of tire you have. It's really, look, the conditions are icy or snowy or what have you. I need to give a fair amount of brake. So that's me braking as hard as I can, and not too bad. So now I'm now I'm stuck a little bit. So reverse it up a little bit. Reverse isn't that bad, but yeah, no car's completely susceptible to this. If it was all-wheel drive, I think I would have been able to get out of that really easily, but you know, this is not an all-wheel drive car, so, and rear-wheel drive would have even tougher time because it would start fishtailing and whatnot, and most of the weight's on the front in this front engine, front wheel drive car. So this is fairly typical and fairly standard of most cars in general. But yeah, it seems like they're pretty decent. I can't rate them against like the Michelin ones or anything like that, but from my perspective, these are pretty decent, I have to say, especially when you talk about getting up and going. On the turns, I don't think they're that great, but in the snow, I don't know if I've driven a car that was just absolutely amazing and crushing it in the snow unless it was raised up a little bit higher and had like the best snow tires on them or like chains on them. Let's just wait for this guy. So yeah, pretty easy to get up and go. But this car's pretty low too, so it's not lowered by any means, but it's just lower than a decent amount of cars, you know, most SUVs, obviously. But yeah, driving through this is pretty decent. I don't feel like I'm losing control. I'm going about 20 and a 30 mile per hour speed limit, and you know, I feel like I can go left and right pretty easily. I'm sure once I get into higher speeds, then I'll run into some issues like right here. Let's see if I run into any issues. A little bit of understeer here, where I'm just turning the wheel and it's not going anywhere. But yeah, I'd have to say this is a pretty good buy, especially if you're in a location that has a lot of snow. It makes a lot of sense to get this. A separate set of tires for the winter when it snows. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.